Ooh, Pete counted me off today. Hey, ballers, welcome to If These Balls Could Talk, the podcast that wants to see Haley Steinfeld and Taylor Swift grudge match still. This is Mark along with John and our producer Pete, and we're getting ready to discuss the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. If you like what you hear or see, please like us or hit that subscribe button, or as we like to say, tickle that little bell.
All right, guys.
We still got a microphone issue. What's going on
Pete,
here?
turn off your echo because that sounds terrible. And Mark, you're very bad at the internet today. I don't know what's going on.
It's staticky again.
You're very staticky.
It's staticky again?
Do you have the other? But that sounds like a microphone cable issue. Do you have the other mic cable? Sorry, guys. This is the live show.
Hey, everyone.
It was fine before we went live.
So good at
you want me to swap them out?
Yeah. You don't have Phantom Power turned on by chance, do you? Because that would be very bad.
He has a new camera. I bet it's the camera.
But the camera should have nothing to do with audio.
Has a mic in it.
Guys, this is why we need to meet.
Are you running off the mic?
2 seconds.
Are you running off the camera mic and not your mic?
Yeah, check the mic.
I'm running off of the hold on.
Check the mic.
I'm definitely running off of the interface. At least last I checked.
Yeah, it sounds like the interface, but it sounds like a bad cable.
Let me just do this. How about this? I'm gonna.
Do we have some generic technical difficulties music?
Does that sound any better?
Yeah, what'd you do?
All I did was just swap the interface, the input, and then put it back.
Did you turn it off and back on again? Are you listening to me?
I've been in IT.
It sounds a little bit like when I run with my CD player.
All right. Do I need?
Oh, no.
Do I need to do the intro again?
Yes.
Yeah, it'd probably be better. Getting rid of that static would be rough. All right. Let's pretend we're playing the music. Hold on. I'm going to get everybody back in the mood.
I don't think you're supposed to go 2-1 and then point.
Oh, sorry.
You're supposed to go 3 and then point, right?
Starting over.
2.
Lizzie does 2. There we go. Hey, ballers, welcome to This Balls Could Talk, the podcast that still wants to see a Haley Steinfeld and Taylor Swift grudge match. This is Mark along with John and our producer Pete, and we're here to discuss the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. If you like what you hear or see, please like us or hit that subscribe button, or as we like to say, tickle that little bell.
Only you, Mark.
Yeah,
Only you.
You didn't do the tickle, John.
Some days I feel too gross to do it. It's not good.
Oh my gosh.
We welcome to the podcast for the first time Lizzie Mahan. What's going on, Lizzie?
Living my life,
Lizzie.
loving it.
Awesome.
Living our best lives.
Lizzie, that is a aggressive pour. I like your attitude tonight.
I was painting all day, and I'm on vacation, so.
Hell yeah,
all right.
Damn. And I'm the one that accidentally brought a beer to the Scotch episode.
Yeah, it's a Scotch episode. Do you see? I got this from my niece, who I'm also her godfather.
The Godfather.
Nice.
That is so good.
I have my monogram Scotch
meaning.
glass.
Yes.
Mine says Mahan on it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So awesome. Pete, why are you so lame?
I don't know.
Pete,
and I even
on.
have a cool glass too. It says Daddy Sippy Cup.
Oh, that's cool.
We had a meeting, and we actually discussed what we were all going to drink and bring to this podcast without you.
Yeah, Pete, sorry. It's a no Pete's club.
This is what I get for working late.
Yeah.
All right, John, how you been?
I am okay. I sold a whole bunch of chickens at Jamie's school today. It was awesome.
Like
We need
alive
a
or
little bit
dead
more context
chickens?
for that. Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, chickens are worth a lot these days.
Twice a year, the school calls in a local barbecue company. He loves the sound effects, Lizzie. A local barbecue company, not so.
Hey, wait. That's your sound effect, all right?
It's wonderful.
Is it the guy?
And so they bring the chicken and we sell it, and we make a whole bunch of money for the PTO, and it's awesome. So that happened today. That was most of the day. I walked and I stood too much. My leg hurts. I feel old. But I took the day off and I slept in, so that's good.
Like you or just your leg that feels old?
My leg feels old. Actually, I feel great.
There you go.
His leg complains to him. It's
Except
like,
I was telling Melanie this, and you guys can't tell in the podcast, or maybe you can. I think I'm getting president hair from all the stress of 2025.
Are you gray?
No.
Are you gray?
Yeah, like in the sides. Like I cut it short, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I look like I've been
that is the president haircut. The little gray.
Well, John has always
Mr.
had
Fantastic.
the haircut, but now, he's graying.
Yeah.
You know how all presidents, except for Trump, age like 50 years while they're in the presidency.
Fix your thing
fix the
while
cable
you're not
again.
talking, Mark.
What?
You lived in a
Do the same thing again.
I'm not, guys. I don't know if I can do this all freaking episode here.
I don't know. Just try the other input for
your iPad
permanently.
speaker.
Switch your iPad speaker.
All right, is that any better?
Yeah.
Yes, for now.
All right.
For now,
We might have to
Maybe
exchange that.
maybe I have to try the other input.
Yeah, we
Until
might
you
have to
get
try the other
excited
input
again.
and exchange that interface.
Till you get excited again.
All right.
Play us off, Mark.
Yeah.
When do you play us off?
Play us off.
We're not done the intros yet.
No, Mark.
Show's over, everyone.
Yeah,
We're
that's
done.
it. Mark, what's up with you?
Done.
Mic drop.
Mark, how was your
Mark,
week,
what's
buddy?
new with you?
Let's see. I went to the Lakers Celtics game up in Boston. Amazing.
Nice.
We bought these tickets before the Luka Doncic trade. I actually looked this up. If we sold the tickets, we could have gotten like 5 times the money that we bought them for. And so I was there to boo LeBron. It was fantastic. And I was
Luka score
wowed by
1 million
Luka.
points?
Luka did
He's
not
amazing.
score 1 million points, but he's still wowed me. Like I will never boo Luka because the stuff that he can do on the court is just absolutely amazing. But
Have you ever heard of Luka Doncic, Lizzie?
No.
So he was the best player on the Minnesota Timberwolves,
Dallas Mavericks?
Dallas Mavericks, and they
Okay. I know
they
the Dallas
decided to
Mavericks.
trade him for no reason because LeBron needed to try to win another championship.
Got to support LeBron.
He potentially lost out on like $140 million by getting traded to the Lakers, though.
Oof. Wow. I mean, he's probably rich enough at this point.
Well, according to
mean-
Josh Allen, that extra $5 million doesn't get you anywhere.
No, he's like, I got a house, I got a car, I got the girl, I'm good.
He said that a lot. He was like made that
He did
point
say
like,
that a lot.
I
really
know.
crystal clear.
He's
And
like,
even though it's still over $50 million.
Yeah, I'm
per
like-
year.
he probably went to Brandon Bean. So I'm gonna rob your salary cap blind, but I want to do it as, with a little bit of dignity. So what does that number look like?
He literally said he was like, I don't want to affect the cap. He told his agent.
Well, he totally affected the
I
cap.
don't-
It's just not as
I
much as it
don't-
could have affected it.
I don't know if it was a stand-up move or a dick move. Like, I don't know.
This
I don't
is-
think it was.
I think he was trying to do a stand-up move, but it's still $50 million.
This is the
Or
difference.
was it like humble bragging where you're like, I'm going to be a stand-up dude, but I'm actually a huge dick?
Huh. No,
Yes.
I don't think Josh
Yes.
is that way.
Do you know him personally? Like, are you buddies? You
No,
hang
but
out?
at least they've asked a lot of people like around him, and I can only go off what people that know him say, and they all say that he's
So
the
Lizzie
same
Pete's
off the
from-
camera as he is on the camera.
Pete's from
okay.
Buffalo, and specifically Hamburg, which is like literally he could walk to the stadium.
I could walk to Josh
Oh,
Allen's
okay.
house.
You could
too.
walk to Josh Allen's house, yeah.
It's right up
Walk to
Newton.
Josh Allen's house. Yeah.
Do you like grow up together, like playing stickball on the street?
No,
He's from,
he
like-
grew up on a
he's
farm
like-
in like Wyoming
Yeah,
or
he's
something, or
farm
California.
born. He's like
Oh,
middle
California.
America, thick leg kind of guy.
Yeah,
Does he actually? How often is he actually at his house that he claims is his home?
probably like never.
Yeah,
I don't
So,
know.
like,
You don't
he has
think
an
he lives
address.
there during the off season?
I don't know. I used to know where Bruce Smith's house was.
I mean, now
too.
that he's dating a Hollywood actress.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
Bruce
Haley's
Smith
probably
lived in
charge that
Hamburg for a
relationship.
little bit too. Remember his
Or
house?
I think
excuse
he
me,
lived
engaged
next
to
to
a
a
Hollywood actress.
very expensive PO box.
Yeah, but
I mean, do you think Haley really lets them not live in Los Angeles in the off season?
I'm sure they
Well, who
flip
wants-
back and forth for depending on
Yeah.
depending on who has more appointments in which city at that particular week.
Does Buffalo have a lot of fancy people living in it?
Not really.
It
I mean, back in the
Yeah.
1800s,
Okay, so-
when electricity was brand new, then yes.
so
And the Erie Canal was the great form of
point of order.
mass distribution amongst the
Buffalo
United States.
is getting pretty trendy.
It is.
Oh yeah,
It's now a
Like,
place
point of
where houses were selling for $1 and people like little
They weren't
inner
selling
city.
for $1, Pete.
It was pretty. No, they were literally giving
Maybe
them away. John, they were begging people to buy these plots of land. There was seriously $1 house plots because they were abandoned for 30 years. They're like, please, somebody buy this rotting house. And people were like, well, now they were ahead of the time, but they were putting like chicken coops in the front lawn of like city houses because the city didn't care. They're like, we just need
Trendy.
population. But
trendy.
fast forward 10 years, and all these uppity hipsters made like these incredible breweries, bars, fancy restaurants, all these cool lakefront events where you can like.
The food is actually excellent.
Yeah.
In Buffalo.
So it's like a gourmand destination now. Everybody wants to go there and eat.
Yeah, you can belay off of rappel off of a 100-foot tall giant cylinder that used to be a grain elevator that now looks like a giant Labatt Blue can.
Oh,
That is
shoot.
amazing.
Yeah.
You may have just convinced me that maybe Buffalo is an option, because before you could not have convinced me at all.
Oh,
that
it
go
was.
there, but now the food's good and there's stuff to do. I'm in.
Yeah, it's still not as much stuff to do as a major city, but
there's stuff to do. Yeah,
it
Not
depends.
like a New York City though.
No, well, nothing's like New York City, but
I don't want to live in New York City.
But, like,
maybe there's more. If you're going to compare it to Albany, maybe it's a little bit more.
there's a lot
I
more
don't
to do in
know.
Buffalo compared to Albany. But I mean,
Albany's not that good though.
yeah, I know.
All right,
You're not saying much. Anyway,
this intro's
sorry.
getting a little bit
Digress.
long here.
Digress.
Pete, you have 10 seconds to tell us how your week's been.
Work.
Liam.
Done. Let's go.
Work Liam.
Work and Liam. There you go.
All right.
And Landfest.
And Landfest. Yeah, we had that
Oh
this
yeah,
past
guys,
weekend. That
how was
fun.
Landfest?
It was fun.
It was wonderful. Landfest is always wonderful.
Awesome.
Play some video games,
anybody
eat
who
way too much
doesn't
food,
know,
drink way too much beer.
We didn't really drink a lot or eat a lot.
I
at
did.
all, actually, because we're getting.
What is
old.
Landfest?
So, our college friends, 10 or 12 of them, we get together twice a year and we play video games, rotating houses, and pretend we're in college.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we all,
Video gaming.
yeah, till like
Or
2 in the
video
morning and
games
drink a bunch of
and
stuff.
Too
and
much beer, and
yeah.
we stay up too late, and it's
Well,
good.
that's fun.
It's really good.
Reminisce the old
It's like the
days.
people that go fishing, only they play games.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
at home.
But the last few years has been
We don't sit in the
fewer
woods
games.
because that's crazy.
I mean, we did
Well,
play.
no, that's what I would do with my college friends. If we were to relive college, it would be getting drunk and almost dying in the woods.
There
Oh,
you go.
jeez.
There you go.
We did
We
throw a
are,
football around for like 2
we are
hours.
petitioning to pivot Landfest to Manfest or alternate Landfest with Manfest.
Manfest.
Yes.
And do something cool like go on vacation or
Rafting.
Oh, that'd be fun.
go
Hiking.
skiing or rafting or hiking
Yes.
or something. Though I don't
Ski
do
fest.
any of that. So I like vacation, but not any of that other stuff.
My college roommates were 4 guys.
Oh, okay.
That
So-
does not surprise me.
So if they made it Manfest, it would completely exclude me. But I
We would
understand.
never do that.
Yeah, but
We
the
went to
weird
RPI.
word-
We went to RPI. There were very few girls.
Yeah, this is true.
There you go. We went to SUNY Albany. There were a lot of girls,
Mm.
but
From Long Island.
they were all yeah, they were from Long Island, and I was from upstate New York. So they're like, "You're kind of like a bro. Why don't we live together? And you can judge everyone I bring over," which is what I kind of did.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Mark's doing stuff.
I don't know what Mark's doing.
I took a picture of me watching college basketball while recording this podcast.
Put it on the website
That's
and
fun.
Instagram. Also, play us off, Mark.
Yeah, let's
All right,
do
hey
it.
everyone, what's a candle's favorite type of exercise?
What?
What, Mark?
A light warm up. It's time for warm up your balls.
Oh.
As a reminder, Pete will spin the wheel, the magical wheel, that will randomly select a question that our guest will answer. Are you ready, Pete?
Let's do it. Wheel spinning. What's the strangest food you've ever tried? So, Lizzie, you get first dibs on all these questions.
Ooh, how apropos for Lizzie.
Oh, the strangest food I've ever tried.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I went into this knowing full well what I was doing, but the Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard of these?
Yeah.
They're not actually oysters.
No.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of
No. So I got
Pete, they're testicles. They're
They're
testicles.
those. Okay, all right.
testicles.
Thought so.
testicles.
There's also another one that's like a cow thalamus, which is another endocrine gland. And those are probably top 3 off the top of my head as far as the weirdest thing. I think I'd probably eat something weirder, but you'd have to drag me down a weird conversation for me to unlock that trauma.
Were they
There's some
good?
hidden memory where she did the Game of Thrones thing where Khaleesi eats a heart of some horse Raw.
Oh, that was actually a really fond memory. The raw horse art eating.
Was that just last Tuesday?
Ceremony. Yeah, like that. That's kind of an unusual thing I would do. But, like, I'm familiar with the animal. I met the animal before I slaughtered the animal and ate the animal. Like, that's fine.
So, Lizzie, before we go, why don't I said how apropos? Why don't we go a little bit? We haven't really talked about who you are, what you do. Why don't you kind of tell us a little bit more about your social media gimmick on there?
Oh, yeah. So my social media gimmick is basically I'm hyper food focused. And it's not just eating and drinking at restaurants in town or like discovering new places, but also figuring out how food is made. So like I, at some point, figured out how to ferment my own hot sauce so it'd be shelf stable. But of course, I had to like go to a bunch of places and try a bunch of hot sauce. I'm currently working on making my own, something similar to bourbon, but nothing that I would actually distill myself because you're not legally, federally allowed to distill your own.
Never mind that.
So, but like learning the recipe and like a heritage project.
Do you frequently cook with flowers?
Yes, I do. I also have my entire front yard is edible, minus the grass. Well, technically that's edible.
Technically the grass is edible, yeah.
But I actually did re-landscape my entire front yard, so every plant would be edible, and I also cook with flowers and most of the plants in my front yard.
That's incredible.
And then
awesome.
I've also take up foraging. I learn about mushrooms, but I'm afraid of mushrooms, and I don't feel brave enough to try anything mushroom I pick. But like I go hiking.
There's a lot of delicious mushrooms.
Yeah, that don't make you trip.
I'm not gonna lie, most mushrooms are delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, do the thing again.
Yeah, the mic thing. Sorry.
Oh.
And then we were talking about Alice in Wonderland, so maybe someday I'll feel brave enough to eat one of those mushrooms that I find on my hikes. So basically, I love finding food that I love to eat and then learning how to make it and then learning also the science behind it because in my real life job, I'm a physician assistant.
That's super cool. Nice.
Yeah.
And up until very recently in the ICU, which is incredibly intense.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The most intense, like camping.
Like a little more than that.
Yeah. So now I'm going to thoracic surgery where I'll be sewing up people's lungs.
Dude, I don't know. My second input works. Does that sound any better?
Are you in the second input now?
It's not scratchily.
I just tried to plug in my second input and it wouldn't work.
It's still scratchy.
Scratchily.
You probably have to turn on your turn up the gain the same and all that stuff.
Scratchily protection. Okay, so I have a story about weird food. I was in Florida once. A little bit ago.
Did you try a gator?
That's so good.
I did try a gator.
It tastes like chicken. It tastes
like
chicken.
I pressed the wrong button.
So we were eating. We were just like brought it to the table like salsa. They were like, "Oh, this is our gator chili," and like I don't know. I'm like, "This is really good." I ate a bunch of gator chili.
Gator's not bad. Yeah.
They're like, "What's in the gator? What's in the gator chili?" I thought it was a creative name. No, it was alligator.
No, it's actually gator. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a big thing in Florida.
I first had gator when I was in Louisiana. There was a base down there that we were all down at, and they gave us fried gator. But also last 2 weekends ago, I went to the Women's Expo, and they had gator and kangaroo beef jerky, or just jerky.
Wow.
I guess it's not. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
The chicken of the swamp.
Kangaroo before. I've had kangaroo before.
Had you?
Yeah.
Is it gamey? Well, the jerky. I guess all jerky's a little gamey, so like it was delicious.
Cooked kangaroo is also gamey.
I can imagine.
All right, next question. Go.
Frog legs? I'm trying to think of whatever I ate, but you guys have way more interesting foods. Next question.
Wait, have you ever cooked frog legs?
I've never cooked them, no. All right.
That's on my list.
Okay, well, speaking of food,
idea.
what is one thing you always have in your fridge?
Garlic.
I always... What? Sorry, go.
Oh no, I'm so Italian, and the minute that question was asked, Italian. I was like, well, I have garlic in my fridge always, literally always.
All the garlic.
Anyway,
cloves and cloves of it.
I have so much garlic, but I don't store it in my fridge because it makes the health benefits go away.
Ooh, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Huh. So I was gonna say yogurt because we got strong protein goals in our house.
There you go.
Greek yogurt or like some other kind of yogurt?
It's Greek yogurt,
Okay.
but also I started making my own yogurt, which is also Greekish.
High five.
Wow.
Nice job, dude.
Wait, that makes
I
me
have
think
a
you have a
yogurt
cow
today,
in your
actually.
backyard.
In my
I wish I had a cow, but I live in the city.
in my now almost 2-year health kick, I have a yogurt every day. A yogurt and leafy greens every day. I feel great.
That's
honestly.
good.
With the supplements I'm taking and the food that I'm eating and the food that I'm not eating, I really think I've always heard you have to step into a lifestyle to make yourself more healthy, and I really have, and I feel really good about it.
Yeah, diets don't work. Lifestyle change works.
100%. And I just did a whole presentation on long COVID, which is a different topic. But what I did discover when I was researching for this presentation is how important like all the bacteria in your gut is, which is now I'm like, here's some bacteria, children, eat all of it. I fermented my own stuff. Don't you love it?
It has strawberries in it.
Yeah. Fermented. It's fun.
Fermented strawberries. I'm pretty sure it hasn't become alcoholic yet, but maybe it has. I don't know.
You know, that's fine.
It makes them chiller.
At one point in my life, I was on a big yogurt smoothie phase, and I was I had all the fruits and vegetables, and I mean, all the spinach and kale pretty much in every single smoothie. It's a lot of work to do that, though, and now I don't necessarily have the time to do that, but I would love to get back into that kick.
You know, eating healthy is actually expensive. It's insane.
It can be.
It is, unless you're growing stuff in your front yard.
Right. I just go out and pick flowers and eat them.
So many dandelions.
I'm not gonna lie, actually, my dream house is gonna have a greenhouse to it so that I can grow produce like all year round.
Dream house, greenhouse.
So always in our fridge.
It's also a great place to hide the bodies.
Huh. So we
John and I are Italian. We know where to hide all the bodies, okay?
I just call it out.
I got to give a shout out, Steph will appreciate this, to our protein balls that we make, which are basically like almost a dessert, but not quite. It's a lot of sweet, but it's got some protein in it. So it's basically peanut butter.
You should probably explain
oats,
exactly. Explain the ingredients because just the
peanut butter, oats, honey,
sounds
flax seed ground up, coconut, and chips, I think, chocolate chips, and a touch of vanilla. They're like a little energy ball, so it's a little bit healthier than just eating candy or something like that. And you know, if you're burning off a lot of calories, it's a great little energy boost.
You said flaxseed.
Yeah.
You don't even notice it's in there.
You really don't.
Flaxseed?
It's nice texture.
But I mean, he's comparing it to candy. It's not candy at all.
I said it's better than candy.
It's like a candy bar.
It's an alternative to
candy bar.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those protein bars, but in like ball form. So protein
Do you think
balls.
if I text my child and she's still up, will she bring me more whiskey?
Maybe.
Only one way to find out.
Let's try it.
You should have had her bring the bottle next to your table.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Like I did.
All right, guys, I think we got.
All right, one more question. One more question.
Quickly, one more.
We got 1:35. Go, go, go.
What's a skill you'd love to master? Unless you've mastered all of them, and then, you know.
Tough one, right?
Go, Lizzie, go.
She's already mastered all of them, apparently, so it's, you know.
Right. I am just such an overachiever.
I would not be surprised.
Other than making every meal delicious and nutritious, probably the skill of the Jedi mind trick.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a
pretty good
one. You could probably make your flowers grow better, right? It's like
right.
It'll grow faster.
Like you will go faster. These are not the flowers you're looking for.
Any tricks along the lines of Jedi mind tricks to become a practiced mentalist? I think that would be very useful.
Ooh.
Right? Then I can manipulate.
John just wants to fuck with people's minds. All right.
Well, I was just thinking I can manipulate like my patients into doing what I tell them to do. Like take care of yourself, but like really take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, really, take care of yourself.
Yes. Really, stop smoking.
I'd love to master at least one instrument, but I hear that takes 10,000 hours to do. So I'm already like, I'm only 9,700 hours to go for bass guitar. All right. Let's go.
I'm told if you do like 18 minutes a day, then you're better than like 80% of the population.
That would require me to actually start playing it. I know. I gotta get started again.
That doesn't sound so much when you break it down by day, right?
It doesn't.
Mark, flip the switch.
No.
Sorry, Mark. All right. Anything else? Any other skills mastering?
No, it's good because we're out of time.
Okay.
Literally let's just do it. Do it, Rockapella.
Okay. All right. So we are in the what really grinds my balls. Yeah. So there's usually a short thing and a long thing. The short
A short thing.
A short ball and a long ball?
Yeah, short ball and a long ball. The short rant is
that sounds like an issue.
Lately I noticed that this auto transfer for my bank keeps automatically going later and later and later. And it finally got to the point where I didn't notice it, but it went past the date where my auto pay for my credit card goes.
Uh-oh.
So thus, I'm pretty sure this is completely on purpose because there's no reason for the date number to keep changing to go later and later and later. And I call the bank and they're like, our business hours are like, we can't do that transaction. Or it said call, like the website said call. So I'm talking to this one and they're like, yeah, we can't do that. I'm like, okay, so you can't transfer money right now for like 3 days, but there's a guarantee that you will be able to have this money taken out of my account to cause an overdraft. And she's like, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, well, fuck you. Well, not you, but personally, but whoever set up this asinine system. So I'm like, can I change this thing to be earlier? And they're like, well, yeah, but it won't take a factor. And like, you can't even see the next month to do it. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, it's inconvenience to force these kind of things. So, yeah.
What's
your bank?
ACH is kind of a dick.
I know. I need to switch.
Oh, Key Bank?
I know. Well, it wasn't at first. And then bank we had got bought up by Key. I think it's like the third.
Are you 15? Had Key Bank because they're like only in upstate New York.
Yeah, they're pretty local. We had First Niagara and they were pretty good, and that's where we got our mortgage. But then Key Bank 8 bought that.
HSBC got bought by First Niagara, and then First Niagara got bought out by Key Bank.
Yep, that's what happened.
That's what happened. We have Key Bank too.
Yep. And a similar thing happened today with our auto insurance, where our credit card was out.
Did you want to share your mother's maiden name or like the last 4 of your social or anything like that on the internet?
No, that's okay. But yeah, no, a similar thing happened today with freaking car insurance, where they're like, your insurance will now lapse. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, call to update this thing. So I call, our business hours are closed on Friday, but your insurance will actually lapse and switch over on that Friday. I'm like, okay. And they're closed on weekends. So I'm now 3 days without car insurance, basically, because they didn't give me office hours.
Drive an hour each way to work.
Yeah, right.
Not on the weekend.
Not on the weekend. So that's fun.
Oh, you don't have to worry
Tomorrow's a Friday.
All right. So for the long thing,
sounds like you're sick.
I have a different kind of rant. I'm complaining that the off season did not allow me to do power rankings. So I'm going to remedy that right now and switch us up to Mighty Morphin Power Rankings that are way too early to talk about the off-season free agent acquisitions. Okay, that's as far as I can play before we get a copyright
Lizzie,
infringement.
we really like our soundboard.
All right, guys.
I like it too.
The NFL offseason is never truly quiet. So here's some way too early rankings following the initial flurry of free agency. A few teams rose, some reinforced to stay strong, and others, they're going for 2026, baby.
I haven't looked at this yet.
Okay, well, it's pretty new. It wasn't on the site until about 5 minutes ago.
You're pretty new.
So here we go. The Eagles, I have them staying at 1. I flopped the Ravens and Bills, or flipped the Ravens, and actually Ravens went up to 2. They're just one of the strongest rosters in the NFL right now.
Doggo!
Lions, I docked because of just losing too many coordinators and the uncertainty of how they lost in the playoffs. It seems a little odd, and they didn't really rebolster their ranks enough to make me keep them at the very top of the league. Commanders, however, and the Rams had very good free agencies, and we may talk about like who was the most successful and who weren't later in the show. A little tease. And going down the list, not too much has changed. A few teams shuffled up. We have the Seahawks made some good moves. Broncos made some good moves. Chargers, Bucks, I still have pretty high just with how good of the season Mayfield had. A lot of like bigger names acquired by some of these upper teams here. And Bengals, though, I was very high in them going into the playoffs, and I was like, don't let them into the playoffs. They're going to wreak havoc. But they've basically spent their entire salary cap on 2 wide receivers now, so I don't really have that much hope that they can do.
I don't think they can. I don't think they're going to have anyone on defense because they can't afford anyone.
They're going to lose Hendrickson too. How are they going to pay him after they paid Higgins and Chase?
Joe's going to give a bunch of money back. He already said he would.
Is he?
Seriously, he did.
He's going to secretly distribute it amongst.
That's just going to pay for Higgins and Chase, though. That's not going to pay for anybody else.
He pretty much said that they're a package deal. They actually, there's a whole thing about this. They're going to sign up under the same agent, and they're going to just all go together.
Wow. Okay. Well, hey,
because Joe knows where his bread is buttered.
I hope it works out for him. The team with a 99 offense in Madden and a 0 defense. Let's see how they do.
It's not a 0.
Okay, it's like
because they're not going to field anyone except for Trey Hendrickson.
The best defense is a good offense. Who cares?
I mean, that's what they almost got into the playoffs doing that last year. All right, Steelers. I cooled off on them, and who knows what they're doing at quarterback at this point.
But they might get Aaron Rodgers.
I thought that ship sailed. The most exciting.
The ship sailed in the Vikings.
No, they're going to get Aaron Rodgers.
He did not follow the Brett Favre trajectory.
Not yet.
Even
I've heard the Vikings are not done.
He wanted to.
He's not going to be a Viking. The Vikings said no.
They said no? Okay, I thought I heard.
They officially said no.
Cowboys, Dolphins, just kind of floating around where they've been most of the last season.
The Giants are going to sign him, and I'm not going to be a Giants fan next year, so it'll be fine.
No, the Giants are not going to sign him.
So the Vikings,
they're going to get Shadur. Yeah. I guarantee you, they're going to get Shadur.
Vikings just kind of losing too many people, and I know Sam Darnold's not the greatest, but he was serviceable for them. He was fine
until
for the
he wasn't.
Until he wasn't.
Seattle does not have a very good offensive line, but they lost DK. I mean, they did have a Cooper. They do have a Cooper Kupp now.
They do have a Cooper Kupp.
I've seen the pictures. He went from Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson to Jackson Smith and Igba, and no one.
It may not be the same.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp is there. Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp is an old man.
Well, so was Tyler Lockett.
He's still a formidable receiver, though.
Yeah, I call that an upgrade from Lockett. Losing Metcalf is going to hurt, though.
I'm not sure I like the Eagles at number 1. They lost too many people.
Maybe.
They lost too many people on defense.
But
Commanders all day, baby.
That's what they do.
And we might get into that a little later.
Oh, but that's what they do. They draft.
Very concerned about defense. Everybody has no defense. Where are all the defense going?
I am a big believer in defense when it comes to championship teams.
But their defense is always built through their draft, so I have faith they have a plan.
The Eagles actually gave up of a couple of top defensive.
But he just said that they don't have a defense.
Yeah, but because they gave up a bunch of top players.
My team, the Patriots, has one of them.
Yeah, the Patriots got the biggest one.
Patriots rising.
We're going to talk about that later, Pete.
We're going to talk about that later.
We can cut this a little short if you guys want. Anyone else see any teams that are way out of whack here before we go?
I mean, I will say the ones that you have at the bottom, a lot of them didn't do much, but they're going to be doing a lot in the drafts because they all have really high draft
picks. Stay tuned for the post-draft power rankings. It's some unknown time during the offseason. I'm only going to get to do this a couple times.
I got to tell you, listen, buddy. I got to tell you. The Giants, even though they picked up 0 offensive pieces, they pretty much rebuilt their secondary, and they're definitely better than the Browns and probably the Jaguars and maybe the Saints.
They don't have a quarterback.
Well, you just talked about how important defense was.
Mark talked about how important defense is. None of that matters if you don't have a quarterback.
Oh, well.
And hey, you know what?
That is a truth,
John, they moved from 32nd to 31st. So they moved up.
Listen, they're better than the Browns. The Browns don't have a quarterback, so shut your face.
Yeah, I probably could have put the Giants.
They have a quarterback. He's just injured.
Yeah, but the Browns...
The
Browns have no quarterback, but they do have Myles Garrett.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
the Giants have
and they might get a very good edge rusher, too.
Good as Myles Garrett.
Being so... stop it.
Sexy Dexy.
Hey, well, they have a chance.
A beast.
If they make the right moves, they have a chance to shoot up in the draft.
Javon Holland, who is probably a top 5 safety.
That was a good pickup.
Yeah.
That's a really good pickup.
We'll see.
Top 5.
All right.
I may have been too conservative there, but so we'll see how things shake up after the draft.
All right, let's do it.
We'd like to thank one of this week's fake sponsors, Lumlux Smart Bulbs. Control your lights with a tap. Lumlux Smart Bulbs. Change color, dim, and set the mood.
Ooh.
Lighting made smarter.
Ooh.
All right, everyone, shall we kick off this shindig?
Yeah.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about First Topic every day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly.
First Topic.
I believe I can fly.
First Topic.
I believe I can fly.
Nice.
You guys should be professional at this. This is so
We're on
good.
a semi-professional podcast right now.
All right, so we kind of mentioned this
It's like the
already.
beer
It's
league
been
podcast.
a free agent frenzy this offseason for the NFL. We've seen lots of teams make high-quality moves, and then not so much. But the official start of the NFL season, we saw some high-quality... I'm sorry, before the official start of the NFL season, we saw high-quality wide receivers moves, such as Deebo Samuel to the Commanders, DK Metcalf to the Steelers, and amongst others. We also saw a multitude of players change teams after the start of the season, including former Eagles DT Milton Williams signing with the Patriots. The Signs signing the guy who's ready to rid himself. I'm sorry.
What?
The Rams signing the guy who's ready to rid himself of Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and the Seattle Seahawks taking a chance on Sam Darnold at quarterback and shipping Geno Smith to the Las Vegas Raiders with his former head coach Pete Carroll. We've also seen players stay with their teams like a security blanket, such as T. Higgins and Chris Godwin staying with the Bengals and Buccaneers respectively. So everyone, what NFL teams do we think have made the best and worst offseason moves?
So you didn't talk about the Commanders. Didn't they acquire a whole bunch of really good names too?
I did. I talked about Deebo, but they also picked up,
that's right. Okay, yeah, you did say Deebo.
But they also added Laramie Tunsil. For whatever reason, Houston decided to give up their best offensive lineman.
Yeah, I don't understand
trade
that at
them
all.
to the Commanders.
Wasn't that a problem for Houston this year?
It was a big problem.
Commanders are going to be top 5 next year.
I think
they're,
so.
They're,
I
they're
think so.
pushing for it, man. They
They're
want to.
probably still an edge rusher away, but they can draft that. I think.
Yeah, this is the draft to do it. So I mean, according to my rankings too, the Commanders in the upper echelons of the list, I thought the Commanders and Rams had one of the best free agency periods.
Lizzie, how did you do that?
Whoa,
She made a heart.
she just made
I
hearts
don't
appear.
know. I just.
Oh, what is this magic?
Lizzie, that's magical. I love
Oh my
it
God.
so much.
I can't do that.
It's because I'm amazing.
What's
I'm
happening?
expert at everything.
Just making hearts appear out of nowhere. You don't even know how that works.
Guys, Jamie brought me scotch. She's the best daughter I ever had.
Awesome.
I sent Jamie a heart, and I.
How long till Liam brings me scotch? He's 16 months.
You know, as
16
long as
months
he
you
can
got-
reach-
He understands
Five
most
more.
things. If you,
All right, focus up. The time is counting.
sorry, go ahead. All
5
right.
more months.
All right. So my team added Milton Williams, like you said, Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, Carlton Davis, and Garrett Bradbury.
They went
all
nuts.
big. They went nuts. I mean, they had the most money to spend this offseason. They had the highest amount of cap space, and they definitely spent it. And they almost got Chris Godwin. He
Yeah,
decided to stay with the Bucks for less money, but that could have been awesome. I think if they got Chris Godwin.
they may not be 100%
That would've
done
been a piece.
either. If we're talking Patriots, Mark, what do you think of the
I know they were
recent
talking
rumors
with
about
Stephon Diggs, right? Yeah,
Wouldn't
they were
that be
talking with
interesting?
Stephon Diggs today. To be honest, like he is better than any receiver that they have right now, but he's not a number one anymore.
He's also probably
And-
not going to be able
but-
to play much this year.
Well, that's the thing. They might be able to get him at a discounted rate, so it might be worth it. We'll see.
Yeah, if they could lock him up even on like a 2-year deal, so that it's really
Yeah.
for next year, that'd be a pretty good pick.
Yeah, have it highly incentive based.
Yep. Yeah, I could see
I
that.
can see that happening.
For
We got to
sure.
get Drake some toys. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, he needs help.
So, with regards to the worst ones, I mean, everyone's leaving San Francisco right now. They
Yeah.
lost Jalen Moore, Aaron Banks, Shavarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Hargrave, and Debo Samuel. That
Losing
was
Dre is a real problem. Debo's
yeah,
a
they
little
lost a
washed.
lot of their defense.
They
it was a
did.
big. They lost pretty much everyone on their front seven except for Nick Bosa.
Yeah,
Nick
Greenlaw's
Bosa's the only
gone
one that's
too.
still there.
Although he was hurt a lot last year,
Nah,
but he's
Dre's a
one of their
beast.
better linebackers.
Is he the one who tripped over his own feet and tore his ACL in the Super Bowl 2 years ago?
No, he was the one that picked a fight with the Eagles security guy, though.
Oh, Greenlaw
Oh, yeah, that's Joe.
hurt something. Yeah.
Philadelphia too lost a bunch of people. They lost
like
Josh
I've
Sweat,
been saying,
Williams,
even
Brandon
though
Graham.
they've spent way too much money on it for Javon Holland and Paulson Adebo, they did pick up two of the best secondary in probably the league. Those guys are both awesome. And it was a big hole that the Giants had, so I'm not sad that they filled it. I am on this podcast last year saying that they really worked on the defense, and I was feeling a little positive about that. So I'm not going to be fooled. Defense isn't the only thing. The offense is in trouble, but hopefully
is the offense in trouble though? I mean, they could draft some linemen, and then who knows? I mean, if they get Jackson Dart, you're going to be happy, right? Either Jackson Dart or Shadur Sanders. I think you'll be happy.
I think Jackson Dart fits it a little better.
I think you're right about that.
What a name,
I would
too.
love them picking Travis third and being able to pick Jackson Dart in the second round, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I see Cam Ward going to the Titans, but I don't see Shadur going to the Browns. I think the Browns are going to pick Travis Hunter.
Okay.
So that would leave Shadur to the Giants. But even if they did pick Shadur, then Jackson Dart is still available for the Giants. Do you pick Jackson Dart as high as number 3?
It depends. Did his pro day happen? I know some of the pro days happened.
I'm still waiting for a team like the Giants here in this opportunity to maybe get Shadur third, but then trade back up in round 1 and get Dart and have them fight for the Q, like
literally
fight, double dip.
Yeah,
Yep,
like
fight.
literally fight. Like I would love to see that. Can that be something they put on Netflix? Like
yes,
match, like
quarterback
show
Thunderdome.
the quarterback show is back, by the way.
2 enters, 1 leaves.
Joey B's on it.
Nice.
Oh, I would love to see that.
2 other big losers I have. The Dallas Cowboys, they lost DeMarcus Lawrence, and their best lineman, Zach Martin, who just decided he's going to retire. And then Miami losing Javon Holland to the Giants, and they added Zach Wilson.
Because that's always going to work.
Yeah. Let's pick up the quarterback that's done nothing for 3 teams now.
Let's face it.
Maybe that's the team that'll inspire him. Like, you don't know. It could be like a solid movie situation. You have no idea. Maybe he was really depressed with everyone else, and this is his family.
They've yet to figure out a contingency plan for the ticking time bomb that is to
the Miami offense is extremely complicated, and Zach Wilson had some issues with very easy, simplistic offenses. So
I don't feel like this is the right move.
Listen, it's not an inspiring story unless you have something to overcome.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I like it.
That's one way to stay positive.
That is a true fact.
I think that's a great end because we're at time.
All right.
Perfect. Nailed it. I contributed.
You did. Very good, Lizzie. Quit playing games with next topic. Next topic. Next topic. Next topic.
Nice.
This is really good, man. So we're going to stay on football, but we're going to switch it to something that Lizzie's excited about. There is nothing like the NFL tailgate party, and the Bills Mafia probably do it better than most. One Mafia member, Pizza Pete, started cooking grilled pizzas in a filing cabinet retrofitted with a grill. He takes the pizza, hands it out to nearby fans in the Hammer Lot, which is a popular Bills Mafia location. Also, the location of the mustard and ketchup ceremony. This is a real thing where
Pinto Ron,
where Bills Mafia members get covered in mustard and ketchup before the games. So, what's our best tailgate story? Favorite tailgate food, and what's the weirdest thing you've ever cooked? Which is a little bit from the that Lizzie prepped for.
Wait, the weirdest we've ever cooked at a tailgate, or just in general?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't think in general. I just thought at a tailgate.
Well, maybe start at a tailgate, and
that really changes things.
Well, I don't want to limit you.
No.
So actually, was the other question? Yeah, I have a question. I mean, you like to eat healthy foods and whatever like that, but tailgating, you don't have any healthy food generally. So I guess what do you generally have during tailgating events? Okay,
so tailgating, you've got to have your like staples, your hamburgers, hot dogs, chili, all those things that make people happy, especially when they're freezing.
Chili.
So like, I love Skyline chili because my family's from Cincinnati.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I went to Cincinnati for the first time in September.
Oh man, I go there like every year, at least once a year. So inherently, I like the Cincinnati teams. But so like,
is Joe Burrow as cool in person as he seems on TV?
You're asking me like I know him, unless he ended up in like
he does seem really cool.
Unless he ended up in the ICU at the University of Cincinnati.
No, let's hope that doesn't. Knock on wood. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Did you guys hear that? I think it was T. Higgins or no, maybe it was Jamar Chase. He kind of said he doesn't like the food in Cincinnati.
Oh, it was Chase.
Like he said that. He said that in a press conference.
He said that, and then he's like, "We'll work on that."
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
but we digress.
It is the Midwest, so like if you're used to like solid West Coast,
he's from the South.
East Coast food.
He's from the South. Yeah.
Oh, then he shouldn't be complaining. But then it was probably just nobody took him to where the good food was, because Cincinnati has like some of the best food I've ever had. Because I used to have to go there like every other year for training. And if you go down to like on the Rhine, like their food is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Steph and I have driven through it, but we've never made a trip there specifically.
Right. And I say that as a person who did just like super support Skyline chili. I know some people are very offended by like meat sauce and spaghetti and calling it chili. Those are two different things.
It does seem sacrilegious in Italian to have chili on top of
I know, spaghetti. But like something about it, like I don't know if I was because I was raised on it, but like that or the Geta in the area.
I did try Geta. I did try Geta. Geta is actually amazing.
I mean, if that's piping hot and you're sitting there in like 15 degrees outside for 3 hours, it's going to be mighty delicious no matter what.
Right. So Cincinnati
especially
chili
if it's
is like
cooked by a good chef.
Yeah, that's my signature. Like what I'll bring to a tailgate because I can make it.
Lizzie makes killer chili.
All right.
Oh yeah, you've got. I make it on Halloween too.
Wait, does she have it? Does she have it with the pasta, with spaghetti?
Yeah.
John, does that mean you've had the Skyline chili?
I also provide hot dogs.
Yes. I have not done the both. Though one of my favorite things is bolognese, right? And bolognese is essentially
I love
Italian
a good bolognese.
Chili,
so you guys remember?
But it's not bolognese. Nobody claims that
yours is not bolognese. Yeah.
Yeah. The weirdest thing I've ever made was probably my brother went to the Air Force Academy, so we used to do a lot of tailgating for the Air Force games, and we'd go to Maryland when they played Navy, and we'd go fishing for our own crabs, and then we'd
that sounds good.
That seems great.
Yeah.
So I strongly recommend that.
So do you remember? I forget where this guy was. It was one of the games we went to at Bill's tailgating, and there was this random truck that pulled up, had like a barbecue grill like attached to the back of his RV or truck or something, whatever that was.
Giving us food.
Yeah, and it was really good. But was he from Kansas City? I think I forget. He was like just a traveling tailgater. Was that
one of the ones we went to with Tim?
I don't remember. I'm sure he might have been there. Yeah. I don't know if that was like the 49ers game or if that was the Colts that we went to or the Jets.
The name's changed obviously to protect the innocent. Games. But the day after Pete's bachelor party before he got married, we bachelor partied. We went to a Bills. We went to a Bills game, and I remember all of us just being blind. And like, there's pictures of us like
we're so tired.
It's cold. We're so tired. We're like, I was in like some windbreaker that I borrowed from his dad because I didn't have enough clothes, and it was just literally like trying to tailgate before the Bills game. It was amazing.
Well, there's no trees or anything, so those lots, and I mean, you have the wind coming off of Lake Erie, so it's literally like sometimes 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts in the middle of a barren parking lot with nothing to shelter it, so it gets cold over there. Even when it's 60 degrees, it feels like it's like 45.
And I think Mark was at this one. We went to City Field with Sheffham and his brother Matt and his father, and there was so much food. Everybody brought too much food.
Nice.
And I mean, there was like burgers and chili,
good problem to have,
and like steak sandwiches and just like everything. And I remember getting into the stadium and being so drunk,
so full,
so tired,
it's so full
that I fell asleep for 3 innings. Because I was just like, oh, it's warm.
Food. That's so good. That's amazing.
Food is good. It was good. It was really a very good tailgate.
That's fantastic.
That's an amazing core memory for you.
Core memory found, and we're out of time.
Right.
I remember that game. I remember all that food. I don't remember you falling asleep.
So, Mark, are you following the theme?
I wonder if that means if I was asleep at the time too.
We were all sleeping.
That's why no one noticed you were all sleeping. Mark, are you following the next topic theme that you had proposed?
Yes, I am.
So far, awesome.
All these songs are from 1997.
Yes.
Nice.
All right. I want something else to get me through this. A semi-charm next topic. A baby.
Nice.
Nice. That's a good
Mark, I love
song.
you.
So soccer in this
Love that
country
song.
has always been a struggle for finding superstars. On the men's side, we do currently have Christian Pulisic, and there are a lot of up-and-coming names for the women, including Trinity Rodman, Mallory Swanson, and Lindsay Horan. But the recent buzz, especially in the women's game, is 14-year-old McKenna Whitman. She just recently played as a substitute for Gotham FC in the NWSL. After signing with the team last year as a 13-year-old and
Holy
also
crap.
a big NIL deal with Nike. Now, we've mentioned Kevin Sullivan on this podcast before. We've also seen other phenoms signed to professional deals as teenagers, including Freddie Adu and Peyton Miller. But none of these have seemed to come to fruition, and it's somewhat of an essential phase in a young person's life to just be thrown amongst all these adults. So, everyone, should we celebrate or condemn a 14-year-old playing in a professional women's soccer league?
I
There's
don't
a
know.
boy
That's-
that does it too, right?
I'm sorry?
There's a boy in the MFL who is like 16,
That's
right?
Kevin Sullivan, yeah.
I
Yeah,
still
Kevin
think the
Sullivan.
difference between
There's no difference.
what did she sign at 13 though? It's not a boy or girl, but the difference of
All right, so
13
in
to 16
general,
is pretty big, or 14
we,
even.
Should we have
Dude,
these
wait.
teenagers playing in adult leagues? That's what the
I
question
have
is.
a
Yeah, I don't know
question
about
about this too, because I had this with my kid just doing varsity soccer. Do they have to undergo a physical that says that they are equal as far as puberty wise to these adults? Because I think that makes a huge difference. Like maybe not mentally, socially, that's another thing to talk about.
Mm.
But if they haven't hit the correct developmental stage because they're good and then they're thrown in with a bunch of adults, is that because you could stunt growth and other like health issues?
Yeah, I would imagine that's not a thing because again, we like soccer teams, especially in this country, have been trying to sign teenagers forever.
Right. But my daughter couldn't play
ever.
JV soccer until she had someone say that she was like the
I
right.
think the professionals have
puberty
something different
stage.
though.
Right? They have lawyers.
They'll just they'll just take
They're
away.
like, we'll pay a doctor for that. Don't worry.
I mean, all this, the questions aside, can we just say that's pretty freaking? She must be a hell of an athlete. Like, could you
It
imagine
must be amazing.
if she continues on that trajectory? How's she going to be when she's like 19, 20, 21 years old? Right? She'd be a freaking superstar.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, developmental issues aside, like the stress of playing a professional sport when you're not fully an adult, like the stress of traveling and being away from your parents and not going to school and like all that stuff aside.
You best believe those parents are going to be there.
I hope
Right,
so.
right.
Yeah.
So like,
You would hope so.
Yeah.
if they're good enough, and soccer is not, I mean, it's physical, but it's not entirely physical. Soccer is not football. I mean, if
I
they're good enough, why
agree
can't
with.
they-
I disagree with that. I
that
totally
is a-
disagree with
that
Can
is
you
that.
a
slide
messed up
tackle
thing
in
to
this league?
say. Soccer is way more violent, and it's not
Do you
as
think?
obvious. I've had 3 broken noses playing soccer.
I mean, yeah, you're not going full speed at someone like while they're standing there. But
Right,
I mean,
you're not
there's
trying
still a
to
lot
take
of
their
hard
wrist
collisions. Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
more afraid of the
And there's-
non-contact
Plus, you're
injuries
just
too.
constantly running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The
Yeah, but
fitness level
teenagers
for
are
that is
really-
nuts.
Athletic teenagers are really good at running.
It's true.
Are they? Yes. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Well,
They're
if they're-
great.
Running. I mean, their
The thing
bodies
is about soccer is there's a lot of collision more than you would think because it's not like you're not aiming to hit someone, but you are actually hitting them pretty hard. And you'll see that from the damages. And there's like super minimal protection. All you've got are shin guards, which
Yeah.
most of them are lying about wearing shin guards anyways.
Really?
Well, you have those people that flop down and say that they're hurt after they've, someone like pushed them or something.
Right, the Premier League is amazing.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
Oh, the Premier League.
Oh.
Oh, I'm so hurt. Oh, I'm so hurt.
What? Looking around? They're not going to card that? Oh, okay. Oh, I'm better.
Lizzie, who is the girl
Amazing.
who's from up here who is playing pro right now?
The girl from up here that's playing pro.
Yeah, I think she's like 18. I think she's really young too. I just forgot her
She
name.
probably is. I've honestly started when I realized that 14-year-olds are being made for pro teams, because they have all these feeder teams anyways, I have never felt more underachievery in my life.
Said the type A overachiever.
But I'm also not surprised because in England, in the Premier League and all these other leagues, they have all these other teams where they find these kids when they're like in first grade, kindergarten, anyone that shows any promise.
Absolutely, yeah.
They recruit them and they use them as feeder teams. So I don't feel like it's that different, other than we don't have as obvious of a feeder team, and we're just like, oh, we're going to sign you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because even the Premier Leagues have feeder teams over on the U.S. side.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Christian Pulisic is playing in the Premier League right now. He's not playing in the MLS.
Well, I mean, I think that you can make a lot more money in the Premier League, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
You can, as long as you're not on a team that's going to get relegated anytime.
Right. Just don't be at last. Don't be in the bottom.
Yeah. I've got a son named after a Premier League team, so.
Nice. Yeah, you do.
Awesome.
Cardiff Blue Jays.
So, all right, we have 3 sets of parents, and here are 3 stages of kids. If we had a kid at 14 years old that was going to getting recruited by some professional team, would we actually follow through with that, do we think?
Depends on their offers for education, to be honest.
Depends.
That's a good point.
On how much my kid actually wants to do it. Like, I think we'd have a pretty strong conversation about like what they'd be giving up.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I agree completely.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be super supportive of it, but I wouldn't shoot it down if soccer really truly was their life and it wasn't like my pressure, and like, I don't think I'd stop them if we sat down and we had lots of conversations about it and set guidelines and boundaries.
Yeah, I think it would have to take.
The thing we learned. Go ahead, Pete. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, to that point, yeah, I think it would be that, and not even just, hey, in the last few years, this has been a big thing. If it was their thing since they could walk, right? Like, see balls start, and like that's just become their life since like the tiniest little league that they could get in, and that's all they care about.
That's the thing. If you were a professional anything at 14, it's your life. I mean, there's no way it's not that.
Yeah, right. But I mean, enough of your life already at that point for long enough to go into a pro thing.
I mean, I think the conversation, like Lizzie is saying, is the long-term plan and what are you going to do after soccer, and what are you going to do with all this money that you're making? Because, let's say you make $50,000 a year, let's say you make $100,000 a year, which is a lot of money, especially to a 14-year-old. It's not a lot of money to live though, right? And so if you don't go to school for, 8 years, let's say, what are you going to do with $800,000 when you're 18? Like, I mean, that's not a tenable solution.
Yeah.
Well, and the chances are that career is not going to last you into adulthood, because you're going to get injured, and because you're going to start hitting your body harder than your body's used to that while it's still developing. So there's that. And like I have a wrestler. My household is a wrestling household, and I have a 14-year-old who's hyper focused and wants to do a lot of stuff, and he's getting invited to a lot of stuff, and we have to have a lot of conversations every time he gets a new opportunity, like, because you best believe if they're getting invited to pros, those parents put a lot of money into it already. Mm-hmm. So it's like, how much are we investing? What are you missing? Like, what, like normal high school, like we all went to prom, we all did these other things, and you're going to miss out on that. So like, discussions and continuing the talk. And my son, I don't expect him by any means to make pro, but he's getting a lot of opportunities that could easily consume the entire family. So like, also if you have other kids, that would change everything too. I have 3, but like, I would include my kids in the conversation.
That's good to get as a whole family, get as many perspectives on it as you could.
He's really good at the landing. So that's time, and that's another really good landing. I think we're good.
All right.
'Cause I am barely breathing, I can't find the air, don't know the next topic, imagining you care.
And I am waiting, for another day. I love that song. So, from one semi-non-standard sport to another, after a blistering 9 weeks, the unrivaled season is over. Rose Basketball Club, which includes MVP Chelsea Gray, Brittany Skies, and Angel Reese, won 62-54 over Aaliyah Boston and the Vinyl to be the league's inaugural champs. Players were paid an average salary of $200,000 plus for the 10-week season, and those involved in the first season receive equity in the league. With many top WNBA contracts only being in the $200,000 range, this is a well-deserved large jump in overall salary. So with ratings that were neither shattering nor disappointing, and with the 6-year agreement worth well over $100 million with Warner Brothers Discovery this fall, what do we think of the first season of Unrivaled, and how do we feel that this pay equity will impact women's sports overall?
This was almost my topic too. I had
this
this
is
one
a
flagged.
Great topic, by the way.
Go for it, Mark.
And I mean, we talked about the league right before it was going to start, and this is the next time we're talking about it when the season ends. I mean, like you said, the ratings, I mean, they weren't great, but they weren't horrible either.
They weren't bad.
The fact that Warner Brothers took that giant leap of faith in the league was great, because all these women are getting paid really well to play the game that they love. They don't have to go overseas. We won't necessarily have another Brittany Griner situation where she gets detained, but
every member of the Rose made $50,000 for winning the championship on top of their salary.
Yeah.
Equity in the league paid out. So if the league does well, they do much better. So there were 36 women in the league. 22 of them are WNBA All-Stars. So like top echelon. Every team was stacked. All the teams are stacked.
But it makes you wonder why.
Really stacked.
It makes you wonder why did Caitlin Clark not play in this league?
It's a good question.
With that, because it's potentially going to grow the game, and like you said, they're going to get some kind of ownership in the league. Now, to be fair, she was playing college basketball. She was playing college basketball, and then she jumped right in the WNBA. She could have been burned out from playing basketball.
That was my guess. Is maybe she just had like rookie season fatigue.
Do you think she's also got like some injuries she's nursing that hasn't been released yet out there?
Could be. I mean, these
I don't think so. She was playing golf a lot.
Yeah, but you don't need all of your athleticism for
3-on-3 is also somewhat of a different game. I mean, a lot of the teams that did very well were very big. Like the Rose are very big. As are the Vinyl. The Vinyl did very well. Everybody thought the Vinyl was going to win, but they didn't. The Rose came on late, and Angel Reese won Defensive Player of the Year, even though she was injured for the last 3 games of the season or something like that. So,
which is amazing considering the season was only like 12 games or something like that, wasn't it?
9 weeks.
I'm just looking at the Unrivaled page now, and it's really cool. They have almost like cool mock-up card fronts with like the nicknames and stuff for all the players. Oh no, we lost Lizzie. There she is.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, just kidding.
Just kidding.
Haha, fooled you.
Oh, I like this though. They're really showcasing the players here and the teams. It's neat little thing.
It is all about the players, right?
It should be. I mean, if there's only 6 teams too in basketball, it's not like you have a 53-person roster like football. Like it really is more about the players than anything else.
Yeah, you definitely get your favorite people that you're like on board with, and like
right. And what I mean by that,
your
like
own drama.
Yeah, like every player is a star in this, which is pretty cool.
So let's just put this in perspective. Okay, there are 10 women in the WNBA that make over $200,000, and the highest paid woman in the WNBA makes only $252. And that's for a full basketball season. I mean, it's not like a 82 games full basketball.
That's
season,
a lot.
Right.
Putting your body on the line and versus how much time and dedication a season of professional sports lasts. That's not a lot of money.
I'd rather be a doctor.
Yeah, you would rather be a doctor.
You're fixing all these injuries that happen during these big sports seasons.
Yeah, and you can play like co-ed rec league, and nobody knows who you are.
Oh, that could be just as vicious, though.
Yeah.
It's true. I've been
40 games in a WNBA season.
Okay, that's a lot.
That's
It's still a lot. It's half as much as the men, but it's still more than twice as much as.
So let's get to the meat and potatoes of the question. Do we expect a professional female athlete run? That's what Unrivaled is. Sports league that is focused on equity to impact the rest of female sports.
I think if they get a couple more good years in, it will. But I don't think 1 year of winning, losing, kind of in the middle.
Yeah,
so
I think we see the ratings grow year to year.
I think the longevity of this of the league is dependent on 2 things. A, will Warner stay with the amount of money that they gave the league? I mean, it's a 6-year deal. That's quite the investment. So at the end of the 6 years, and I don't know if there's any out clauses before the 6 years as well. You'll have to have at least that same amount of contract or better in order to keep the pay that high. Secondly, they have to get Caitlin Clark. They have to get Caitlin Clark on board, or they need to have more transcendent athletes like a Caitlin Clark. And there might be more on the way. You have Paige Beckers on UConn. Angel Reese, I think, is definitely she's going to be a name. I think she actually needs to have more of the spotlight because her personality. Yeah, her personality she is the player, but Caitlin Clark is just overshadowing her. Juju. Shoot, what's her? I can't remember what Juju's last name is. She plays on USC. She's only a sophomore, but she's getting a lot of headlines as well. So the future of the women's game, I think, is bright. So, but as of right now, the player, women's basketball right now revolves around Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. So they need to get her on board, I think, for next season in order for them to be able to grow. Juju Watkins, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Did I stall enough for Lizzie to do whatever she just needed to do?
I just had to pee so bad. I was like, I can't hold it anymore.
That's all right.
I wasn't actually BSing. I know a lot about the. I think
we're going to let her end it on pee so bad. That was pretty funny.
She's going to end everyone. Yeah, when I go to pee, you guys yell at me for like the entire show.
You're not the guest. You're not the guest.
I know.
You've done this before, Peter.
Yeah.
Peter.
All right. We'd like to thank another fake sponsor, WanderWise Travel App.
Sorry, I had to do that. It's important.
What?
Plan, book, and
I interrupted Mark. Mark, start over, buddy. It's okay.
We'd like to thank another fake sponsor, WanderWise Travel App. Plan, book, and explore all in one app. WanderWise turns travel dreams into reality, one trip at a time.
Steph would totally buy that book.
It's an app.
She would totally buy that app.
All right.
They said book.
All right. All right. I've been drinking, and this is a really fast song, but I really like the song, so hopefully I get this right on one take. Ready? Anytime I see your face, I just close my eyes, and I'm taken to a place where your crystal mind and magenta feelings take up shelter in the base of my spine, so you feel like a chicken check. Next topic. I almost did it perfect.
I almost did that perfect. Yes.
Chicken next topic.
You should have just said cherry cola, man. It would have been fine.
Yeah,
that's not next topic.
And
that's
then
not next topic, John.
No, but then he could just be like, next topic. Just sing the song.
Right, so
anyway,
New Zealand may be known for its beautiful landscapes, the birthplace of bungee jumping, and being the setting of the Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
But now it can be known as the home of the youngest person ever to run a sub 4-minute mile. Woo. Sam Ruth completed the event in 3 minutes, 58.35 seconds, which was more than 3 seconds better than his personal best prior. With recent advances such as super shoes, hi Oak, new running apparel and training methods, the discussion has come up as to whether or not someone can officially run a full marathon in under 2 hours. And keep in mind, I did say official. So everyone, do we foresee someone running an official marathon under 2 hours?
Just a matter of time.
No question.
They're already close.
I was surprised when you posted this question that nobody already had, because like everybody's so fast these days.
Yeah, they've been in sub 2:10 for marathons for years now, right?
Yeah.
So in the
kind of surprised.
It was 6 years ago in October of 2019. The same person that actually holds the official record for a marathon, Eliud Kipchoge. Oh God, sorry Oak that I just probably just pronounced that. 1 hour 59 seconds. I'm sorry, 1 hour 59 minutes and 40.2 seconds in the Ineos challenge in Vienna.
But was that an unofficial timing?
It was an unofficial because it wasn't an official marathon. But he still has right. He still has the actual official record of 2 hours 1 minute and 9 seconds though.
Oh, so close.
Over 26 miles. Come on, that's like it's nothing.
If he hadn't stopped to not poop his pants,
right,
and had just kept running, then he would have made the time.
That's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
That reminds me of one of my favorite social media feeds is the woman that's running, and she politely asked the cameraman not to shoot her from behind because she accidentally crapped her pants.
Oh yeah. Oh man. I remember that.
And thankfully the cameraman
story.
obliged.
Yeah.
But that's such a fun. All right.
Runners are crazy, man.
I don't know. But, all right. So we feel this is happening though.
I mean, don't land on poop so long, Mark. It's a little weird.
We're gonna talk about it more, I think.
The running or the poop?
More about urinating and pooping yourself while running than we can talk about this making time, because that's a whole other situation.
So wait, how old is this kid that ran the sub 4 minute mile?
Oh shoot, I had it. I believe he was about to turn 15.
Jeez.
So let's talk about something that matters, Pete. What is your fastest marathon? Let's go around the table, and mine is 0 because I've never run one.
I've actually never run a full marathon.
I've never ran a full marathon either.
Does anybody run a half?
Only ran a half once, and I was running it with a friend, so I went at their pace for the first 8 miles and almost. And
let's talk about us late people like me.
So
what
it was under. I did a half in under 2 hours.
What are those distances for us people who don't know?
13.
Why don't we talk about what mattered in 7th grade, which is what's your fastest mile?
That's good. That's good.
Smart. It was a 1600 meter, which was pretty close, but 4:53.
Jesus Christ!
And I wasn't. Here's the funny part. I hadn't trained for that all year.
Who let Pete go first?
That was a that was a coach that was like, "Hey,
Sam Ruth was 15, by the way."
Yeah, that was a coach that was like, "Hey, we need some points in this track meet. Can you just run the 1600?" I'm like, "Sure." I've been running like 400s and high jumping all season, but sure, why not? And just ran in and did that.
We have the same story.
Huh. Awesome.
I knew.
Same event or different event?
Well, the women's is a 1500.
Okay, well, and it's 1500 for men and women in the Olympics and stuff too, which is why 16 is a weird number. But
yeah, I ran mine in my fastest one was a 4:58.
Ooh, smoking.
And it was like one of those
like that.
I run
do that in a car
now, but like it was one of those funny things where they're like, I was running the 400 and doing long jump, and I really was just there for the ice cream and to hang out with my friends. And they're like, "Well, we need someone to run, and you're a soccer player, so we know you can run a mile." Right. And I was like, "Whatever, sure." And I did it, and then like they're like, "Wow, you're really fast," and I'm like, "Am I?"
Well, is that good?
Was that good? Was I fast, you guys?
You just lapped somebody, and there's only 4 laps.
The first race I ever ran was a 600 meter indoors.
Oh, that race is cool.
Yeah, I lapped everybody because I was in the slow heat.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept running because I didn't know the race was over.
You ran beyond the 600 yards?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I kept running. I'm like, everybody's still running really fast. And they're like, you need to stop. And I'm like, why? They're like, you're done. And I'm like, but they've got like 2 more laps. And they're like,
oh, that's funny.
That's pretty funny. So the 800 is the only one that the only race where I think my fastest time would not always be last place if I was running in an Olympic female 800 meter heat. It's the only one.
Time?
It was like 2:03, I think.
Oh shit. Mine was like a 2:18.
That's still pretty good.
You guys are making John and myself feel really bad about ourselves.
Well,
right
okay, I can't. I doubt I could run an 800 in the 3 minutes now, and I'd be like dying. So,
like I said, my like solid mile. If I were to run just a mile, like, my best one would probably be like 7:50 and 8-minute 8:20.
Yeah, that's pretty close to the fastest mile I've ever had in my whole life.
But you don't train, Mark. You're training for a longer distance, though. You're not really going for speed.
Yeah, that's why.
I'm just trying to get to a mile, you guys. Actually, I've done that already.
You've done that before. I've watched
John.
you do that.
We're gonna do a 5K. You said we're gonna do a 5K this year.
John, I've watched you run a mile before.
5K with you guys.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's sign up. If these balls could talk, the team.
I mean, hell yeah! Like seriously, when we do this, I think we should live stream it straight up.
That'd be fucking awesome.
You want to live stream running?
Can we also live stream everybody signing up for it?
Yes,
yeah,
for sure. I think that would be awesome.
All right, we got to find a race then that we can do.
No, my everyday train is like a mile.
Don't die.
There's an Altamont 5K cider run where you get to drink after.
Yeah, I want to do a cool one.
That's the only reason why I do races.
Those are the best
so
races.
I can drink and eat afterwards.
Yeah.
I want a medal.
Like the Boilermaker is actually like my favorite race because
that's Pete's favorite too.
Also Pete's.
Swear
So
to
Lizzie,
God that
I will never do the Boilermaker.
Lizzie, fun story. The Boilermaker is right around Mark's birthday, and Pete used to try to do the Boilermaker every year. So he would go to Mark's birthday. We would drink too much. He would leave, go to the Boilermaker, either not slept or hungover or both, and then he would run and do very well.
I ran a PR.
I
ran a PR after one of those.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
I don't remember my fast.
Boilermaker
maybe an hour 7.
Oh my God!
I was in way better shape
15K,
then.
right?
That was like 12, 13 years ago.
Is it 15K?
15K,
yeah.
So many Ks. All right.
Well,
I like refuse to do July.
Okay, I'm pretty sure.
No more run. Oak, I'm sorry. No more run talk. We're done. We're way over time too.
Damn it.
I've got a stock pre-shirt on, so.
I'm not
there
just
you go.
Dick.
Prefontaine.
Prefontaine.
Bro.
Didn't he invent the Nike running shoe in a waffle iron?
Lizzie, did you paint Starry Night just like for fun? Because that was Starry Night on there.
Oh no, that's my laptop case.
Oh, that's amazing.
That is cool.
My iPad's trying to die, so I've got to figure out how to charge it. I gotta go. I'll be right back. I gotta get a charger, but I can hear.
Get a really long cable. We're gonna go on to the next topic.
Yeah, we can introduce the next one.
Yes.
Let's keep this show moving.
All right. Ready?
Yo.
I like the way you work it. Next topic. I gotta bag it up.
Hey.
I like the way you work it. Next topic. I got to bag it up, girl.
Really
I did not know that was 97, nor did I think Duncan Sheik was 1997. I thought that was earlier.
Hey, playa. All right. Let's go. I thought I could stall for Lizzie to get back because I have so many Lizzie topics.
Just talk very slowly.
I will talk slowly. Do you guys see my laptop? It's making lights at you.
It is?
It's very cool. Yeah,
I see it in the background there. It's so pretty.
Bling, bling. All right, well, I'm going to start. So, in another life, my wife and I were committed to visiting every major league ballpark, and we got to 10 before Jamie was born. One of my favorite things about this was trying all the different food at all the various different parks. So, a recent list puts the Mets and Citi Field, hey, Jeffem, with probably the best overall food with 2 out of the top 3, including something called a Wowful, which, by the way, is vanilla rainbow sherbet topped with Fruity Pebbles, rainbow sprinkles, chocolate, a Pocky stick, and powdered sugar, as well as, I'm going to say the name,
You took a filet mignon and put 2 pieces of bread around it?
And caramelized onions at a baseball game.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Huh.
Seems like a waste of a filet.
So tell us the best food you've ever had at a professional sporting event. And is it the food itself or the general atmosphere that makes ballpark food great?
You know, I'm actually a firm believer it's the atmosphere.
I don't disagree. That's why
I definitely do. I mean, I agree. Citi Field has some pretty good food. But I'm a Red Sox fan. I'm partial to the Red Sox food. I always got to have a sausage and peppers right before the game at one of those little stands right outside. I'm very proud of my little Red Sox routine. I mean, there's bar that I love going to that usually doesn't get super busy before the game, and then I could grab my sausages and peppers, and it's just I love that routine for my Red Sox games. I hope to go to a decent amount this year. Actually, John, we need to, we've always talked about with Jeffem going to the 3 stadiums. I really feel
did it once.
we've never done it.
We've done 2 a lot.
We've done 2 a lot. We need to do all 3.
A lot.
Is this like within a certain span of time, or just per season?
Well, one season, within one season.
Okay.
Within one season, going to a game at Fenway, a game at Yankee Stadium, and a game at Citi Field.
But John's right. We've done 2 in one season a few times, but we've never done all 3.
Well, there you go, you guys.
Never done all 3. And I'll be honest, a lot of times it's my fault because, listen, Boston is a little bit more out of the way than New York, especially considering John and Jeff are very close to New York, and John's going to New York even more. But and then I have 18 jobs, so
jobs.
But I feel like we can do it this year. I've been spending so much money on sports games. I mean, I've gone to I've gone to so many Celtics games, and I know it's going to happen with Red Sox because I'm very excited about the Red Sox this year. Very excited.
You guys have done some things.
We've done some
Moving
things.
on up.
But with but yeah, I love the food around Fenway.
Fenway was a cool experience at the time we all went.
I will say Seattle has some pretty good food as well because it's so eclectic with the number of different kinds of food that they have there. Seattle's not really known for one food, but they just have a lot of different kind of styles.
They got a lot of good fish.
Yeah, they have sushi at their stadium.
I believe it.
Believe it or not.
So another great place for stadium food, and I've only been at Oracle Park from the outside in San Francisco. San Francisco
I believe that
has the top food, which they do a garlic fry, which is the pictures of it look insane.
Sounds good.
And then they do a Dungeness crab sandwich, so like the filet mignon, but Dungeness crab.
Oh, jeez.
And they do a Caribbean grill jerk chicken chimichanga.
Damn.
Ooh.
We got to go to that stadium. I'll just go for the food.
Yeah.
Did we have anything good when we went to Yankee Stadium all those years ago?
I really love San Francisco.
Yeah.
You went to the new park, right, Pete?
Yeah, it was the new stadium. Yep, it was the new stadium.
They have great food too.
I don't remember what we ate, but I'm sure it was good.
John, I still have never been to the new stadium.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Such a failure.
It's pretty cool.
Sorry.
I mean, I don't really have that many to compare it to.
I'm very scared. I'm scared to go in the new stadium. I feel like there's like this barrier for Red Sox fans that they can't cross.
No, it's just the anti.
It's gonna sever my head or something like that.
It might.
Don't worry about the severed head. It's just there's an array at the top and a ring of anti-Red Sox lasers.
Yeah. Just the ghost of George Steinbrenner.
Don't think about the Red Sox at all.
Yeah, they'll know.
I always think about the Red Sox.
If you go see the Ravens play in Baltimore, right outside, you can go to the last bar Edgar Allan Poe was at before he died.
I've been there.
Right?
Baltimore actually is one of my favorite cities.
Mark, can you tell me about the
go.
Irish nachos at Fenway? Have you ever had them? Are they good?
Irish nachos? No, I've never had the Irish nachos.
Such a failure.
I'm not Irish.
All right, I'll decide. I'm getting hungry.
Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, where are the snacks?
Oh.
All right, Lizzie, we're talking about ballpark food. What's the best ballpark food you've ever had?
I mean,
Do you go to baseball games? I don't even know.
I've been to a handful of Reds games because my family.
I was at I have a good story about. Well, maybe it's not a good story, but I have a go on.
A story.
I have a story.
I was gonna say it's like the chili dog, but it's totally the experience. And I've been to Fenway for some baseball games too, but like actually I've been to more Liverpool games at Fenway than I've been to
That's
baseball
funny.
games.
That is not a bad answer.
Well, they're owned by the same owner, so you know.
Right. So like basically by association, because I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm therefore a Red Sox fan.
Oh, Lizzie, I knew the reason why I liked you. So I'll tell you my Cincinnati Reds story. So like I said, I went there. I went there last year in September. I have another friend. She went to University of Cincinnati, so she was familiar with there. So she was my tour guide. We did a bunch of things, but it was really revolved around us going to a Reds game. And so I made kind of a bet with her. Like I'm a big Ellie De La Cruz fan, so I believe the bet was if he stole 2 bases or the Reds were to win, then I would buy a Reds shirt at the clubhouse. Ellie De La Cruz only stole 1 base, but the Reds I think won 8-0 that game or something like that. So I do have a very nice red shirt. After the game, they decided to put on a Nelly concert.
You had no idea.
No, we actually did know about this beforehand, but it's like, but yeah, there was a like Nelly did a full set of his songs. He even actually debuted like a brand new song that night.
Oh, wow.
And so we saw a Nelly we saw a Nelly concert after the Reds game, and it was still less. Yeah, we were at another game. It was still less than a Red Sox game too, but it was a lot more enjoyable.
And probably less than a typical Nelly concert.
Well, like also I've seen St. Louis play a million times, I feel like, because I don't know, whatever happens whenever I'm down in St. Louis, whenever I was training for the military, it's like free tickets. Who wants to go? And I'm like, really? Are we really just getting all these free tickets? So most of my sporting events are really just because people offer me free tickets. Like I could go see the Yankees in a like.
There's literally nothing wrong with that, though.
No, like next week, I think I got offered Yankees tickets from a veterans organization, and I'm like, who wants to see the Yankees? And everyone's like, we don't watch baseball. That's not. Maybe we could go, but I have confirmation with my kids.
I feel like we barely talked about food.
I feel like we talked about a bunch of food this episode, more than any other episode.
No. I mean that particular question was about the best food we
have
had at baseball
question,
games.
I mean, like,
and I'm talking about Nelly.
Can you beat a classic chili dog? or any
welcome to If These Balls
game?
Could Talk.
I mean, it was a AAA stadium in Buffalo for the Buffalo Bisons, but that was the first. I still remember this. This is one of those core memories, right? It was like dreading ever eating a charred hot dog, right? Because we were always lame and had them like as kids. They would be like, ugh, like boiled or whatever. So it was like, oh, this charred hot dog. I'm so scared. And then I ate it at the ballpark at a game, and I'm like, this is really good.
Don't knock a boiled hot dog. I love me a good boiled hot dog.
Life-changing.
Can't do it anymore. Like it's got to be on the grill or nothing for me.
You know what? I used to work at Annie's, and we'd wrap those hot dogs in pretzels and like jalapeno pretzel dough and garlic powder.
That sounds
and
good.
I used to not like hot dogs, and then I started liking.
I gotta tell you before we end,
very
my
rarely
favorite road trip
partake,
snack
like on a usually grilling and stuff maybe.
My favorite road trip snack is an Auntie Anne's Bite, like the little Auntie
That's
Anne's
true.
pretzels. Those things are fucking great.
So
I
buttery.
got a recipe.
They're so buttery.
So good. So buttery.
Delicious.
Me and my high school best friend, who also lives locally, we could have a pretzel off on how quickly we could roll those pretzels. Like it was
I
a little
wanna
wild.
see that shit. That's
on my list. That's on my list to make this summer is to make some pretzels. I do have a recipe I found online. So
use my recipe. It's better.
Yeah.
All
right.
Time.
All right. I've got one more fast, so hopefully the drinking that I've been doing doesn't impede this.
Do it, Marcapella.
And I'll make it better.
I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. You put yours, and then put mine. Then we go keep down low for the next topic. I kind of screwed that up, but
that flow was
pretty
great,
good.
Mark. You're so good at that.
I have an idea
Still
of how
like it.
the song's supposed to go, and then somewhere along the lines I lose it. And
Do
it's
you
like,
rehearse it
That's
every
okay.
year? You should.
every now and again I do, and then but that was like 2 hours ago that
Lizzie,
I
this is how Mark sells real estate. It's totally fine.
He's the singing realtor, yeah.
So imagine you are planning on taking a trip that should only last about 8 days. And suddenly, due to unforeseen circumstances, you found out you couldn't make it home in 8 days, but rather 9+ months.
A 3-hour tour.
Well, that's what essentially happened to astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore. The initial mission was for Williams and Wilmore to test the durability of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. Unfortunately, the Starship experienced some helium leaks, and NASA ultimately decided to have it return without the aforementioned astronauts. Well, these two took everything in stride, including multiple TV appearances where they were able to display their sunny dispositions. So, everyone, how do you feel you would handle being in space for 9+ months when initially planned for 8 days?
Yeah.
Did you make it 12?
I would hope I'd be like Matt Damon in The Martian, but I'd probably just be curled up, kind of.
But at least he was on a planet. These people were stuck in a tiny, cramped ass little, like.
And
I mean, he wasn't like
space
on
station.
a planet.
He was on Mars.
On a planet.
He was on Mars.
Okay,
in
yeah.
a space station. He didn't get to like walk around the planet like, hey, everybody.
Well, I mean, he
I'm
couldn't
on
in a
Mars.
spacesuit at
for
least.
that. Like so
They do.
in general. If you work for
They
the
do.
government, you know that if they say 2 weeks, it's actually 2 months.
Right.
So like they already start off with that mindset, but they're also trained, which is why like if you go to space for a week, they send you with 9 months worth of tampons as a lady. Like, and there's no way like it's not sexism. It's like, oh, you might get stuck up there for a while, and we can send you care packages, but like we can't get you out of there.
Yeah, that's.
Right.
It's not like you can open the door and just go.
But yeah, it was such supposed to be a simple mission, right? We're just gonna see if this spacecraft can make it, and it didn't.
It didn't.
And
Do you know how they recruit?
Yet another failure for Boeing.
I can't believe it took this long
to
to get
go to space, and like how they're like, you're the most ideal astronaut. Like, it has nothing to do with being like this superhero thing. They're like, we want you to be super self-content with monotonous tasks and doing mostly nothing, but know how to assume a leadership role and entertain yourself. So like those people who are like not super social but know how to work as a team, they're like, you are the one I want because you're not going to be an issue in space. And I just, it was Hacking for Mars was the book I read. Super interesting, goes into all the science of picking out the personality that's appropriate for being stuck in space for like 9 months.
I'm too social.
Yeah, I don't know. I could
No,
probably do it
like,
for a
for
while.
real.
You are social.
Like for real, I would really struggle. I
Well,
think I really would.
you can think too, though. And you can focus if there's an issue.
Well, and you can FaceTime. If you sent me up there with some Russians and some booze and FaceTime, I'd be okay.
It
No,
better
but,
be
like,
really good
importantly-
booze.
To a point,
Yeah.
it's not for me. It's not about like how I could solve problems. I'm very good at solving problems. It's not about how if I could contact people. Like during COVID, Mel was great. Mel was like, "This is awesome. I don't have to talk to anybody," and that's just the way she is. And I was like, "Let me."
I want to talk to somebody.
Do you think?
I was like, she was like, "Can't you talk to your friends online?" I'm like, "I do, and I love you.
You won't like me when I'm lonely.
And like, it doesn't press the same buttons for me. It doesn't. And it still doesn't.
So do you think Mel could handle 9 months unexpectedly in space better
No,
than you
because she
could?
sucks at solving problems. See, that's the problem.
Well, I mean,
Some combination of Melanie and I could probably handle 9 months at space.
the best of both of you could handle space.
I think if Melanie had like a set list of tasks, I think she would do really well in space, and she'd be super happy when they're like,
You know what? I would
"All
agree
right,
with that. I would agree with that.
No, that makes sense.
I
If
could see
someone
that,
told
yeah.
her what to do every day and there was a list, she would do really
And they
well.
just keep
You're right.
uploading
Yeah.
stuff to her Kindle.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Right.
As long as she's got books to read,
She brought
wine
her
to
Kindle to
drink,
space.
books to read,
time for
bourbon to
reading.
drink, and all that time. I
It
don't know.
brings me to a thought, though. It's so interesting how different people are and how different people succeed in different ways. I mean, we're all good at something.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, 8,
And we're all
9
good
billion
in
people on
certain
the planet, and just how much variance you have of skill sets,
Crazy,
like
really, when you think about it.
specialties, right? Yeah, brain chemistry. It's crazy.
But I think, like, as far as like me professionally, one of the best things I'm good at is people, and like I'm not that smart,
So what is it that you
All right,
do?
really
beg to
good at
differ
sol-
on that.
but I'm really good at solving problems, and I'm really good at interacting with
Yeah,
people.
I
and everything
think
else
if-
I can fake.
If there was an issue that happened on the space station, I think John would be an excellent person to like. This is how we fix it. I'm gonna have you do this. I'm gonna have you do this, and we're gonna get it done.
You could delegate it well.
Figuring out who's good at what.
That's what I do right now.
Right. That's literally what I do in the ICU is tell people
right.
what to do. And like,
Yeah.
I have a general concept of the science, but it's like taking in information and then being like, you need to do this job, you need to do this job, and you need to stop doing that thing because you're killing someone.
I think the worst thing about people right now, especially
Jeez.
professionally, is that no one can like do that. Like think critically without direction. There's so few people that can
Because
just like
they're
It's not
so
easy to
close-minded, right?
Yeah.
self-guided.
I know what I know, and I know better than you.
Mhm.
It means the system's working because everyone else is a sheeple. And if you can self-direct and self-indirect.
Oh, I
other people-
don't think it has to do with people being sheeple. I think everyone thinks that their opinion is more important than everyone else.
Oh, that's true. Everyone thinks you're the most important person in the room.
So many special flowers.
I mean, I'm the only
my
one in this
God.
room, so I guess I'm the most important person in it.
They can't all be cramped flowers.
Hey, Mark.
My family abandoned me, so I am the most special.
Mark, do you know what time it is?
Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. It's the final topic.
Wait,
Is that from 1997? I feel like it's early.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
just
maybe
our favorite.
87.
We
Wait.
always do that for the final
I
topic.
gotta get a
Okay,
better
good,
explosion. Hold on.
It was really good, Pete. I'm totally not cutting that together, but that's fine.
That's
You're
fine.
All right.
explosive bombs, people.
So let's land this plane, you guys. Neurotech company Synchron has unveiled the latest of its
We're talking tech.
brain-computer interface, which uses a combination of NVIDIA's cognitive AI as well as Apple Vision Pro to enable individuals with paralysis to control digital and physical environments with their thoughts.
Oh.
So during the NVIDIA GTC conference this week in San Jose, Synchron showed how its system allows a paralyzed trial participant to control multiple devices from his home, a smart speaker for music, adjusting the lighting, and really anything that is IoT connected and configurable to the system. So the inevitable interface between technology and medicine is incredibly exciting. How will continued development of AI and augmented reality technology impact the wheelchair bound? And how is the difference between science fiction and real life shrinking as it develops?
That's really cool. This is one of the few times I did not bother to watch NVIDIA at the GTC because
they had a cool ass robot too.
Yeah, they keep bringing out robots, but like I feel like the last 5 years for this is just like Jensen's like AI, the more you buy, the more you save. AI. That's an original. I'm going to copyright that one.
That was a super good song, Pete. It's really good, man.
Yeah. But I mean, that's pretty much what it's been. And also, it's like, here's a digital virtual model of a factory created by AI that makes miniature models
focus on
of
the
AI
dude
factories.
Controlling his house with his thoughts, because I think that's way cooler.
There was one where
that's very cool.
There was one time where
I think it's amazing.
Yeah, there's one time he's like, okay, I'm giving this
You're
keynote
Professor X.
Right? Like there was the one time Jensen was giving this keynote from his kitchen and stuff like that, and then halfway through the show he's like, actually, this is not me. This is an AI duplicate of me. And it wasn't even him. It was like, what the fuck?
Pete really hates Jensen and NVIDIA.
I don't really hate. I mean, I hate Jensen because he's a rich billionaire, but that's that's par for the course.
All right,
Pete.
All right.
Does it hate you to talk like positively about NVIDIA right now?
No, because I think because it is really amazing hardware. And if used for the right purpose, like this sounds like an awesome application for this stuff. So that's why I'm saying I'm sorry I missed this one, because this time this sounds like a really cool thing.
I think this application's amazing, and it's going to actually eliminate like certain career fields. I also think it's super scary because if they can control you when you don't move, well, then your science fiction brain goes down to like, when do they start implanting this? And they're like, oh, it's just a procedure that everybody like vaccine. Not that I don't get kids vaccinated, but like I'm just thinking of like the worst like case scenario where you're like, just trust us, everybody's getting it done.
Lizzie, you've been a human being for too long, I think.
Well,
you're just thinking of, like, as soon as someone comes out with something good, everyone just thinks about the bad implications that could happen.
And not that my father is in any way.
Yeah, like your dad.
Like, not that dad is in any way. I mean, paralyzed because he has lost half of his right leg and his right arm, but he's getting it back somewhat. I mean, cognitively he's a mess, but the thing that frustrates him the most and causes the most internal anger and external anger is autonomy. And I think the ability for people who don't have any autonomy to get autonomy back is worth literally whatever we can throw at it. And the idea of like augmenting brains with whatever AI becomes, ethics aside, is super cool. Like, for real. I think also if we enhance the idea of like AI augmented people with the idea of some sort of like augmented reality interface, it's just like next level for me. Like,
I think you just described the Matrix.
It is the Matrix. It's amazing. It is
but I think like honestly, like people who are injured or they have trapped in syndrome, or even like like people who have limbs that go missing and then they feel some exterior pain. I think even that, with the way AI is going, where you can put a peggle in there and then make it move just by looking at it, then your pain that you feel by having the missing limb, the phantom pain, I think that it's going to be good therapy to make it move. So I think that there's a million good things we can do, but with every million good things we can do, there's a billion magical, terrible things that some ultra bad guy thought of, because I've been watching Batman and all the Marvel movies.
Speaking of ultra bad guys, Elon Musk also has his own version of this called Neuralink.
Yeah, but that's one where they actually implant the chip in your brain, right?
No, I mean, this is the same thing.
Right,
but
it's
okay.
They did that on Grey's
the
Anatomy.
same thing.
Okay,
I
thought it was
like 10 years ago on
Pro.
Grey's Anatomy they did that.
But I mean, he's also working on this. a developing brain-computer interface (BCIs). And they have done human trials with that as well. I believe I saw something on the news about someone who was like actually playing a chess game or something like that, being a paraplegic.
Damn.
I think in the next 10 years, you'll find it to be a commonplace surgery, and like it'll be something you see, just like people typing on the computer with like ALS or something.
I mean, don't we all have chips in our brains after we got the COVID vaccine?
But you think about it, right? You have a heads-up display that
people have some crazy ass
control with your eyes that exists in your field of view. Like how?
Well, your iPhone's already doing that.
It's already doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
You can put the newer iPhones you can put on disability mode, and you can control a lot of it with your eyes.
That's cool. Man.
I haven't tried that yet, but I do know you can do that.
Damn, Stephen Hawking, like a brilliant mind, right? That was trapped in his own body. If right? Any example, Stephen Hawking just missed out a couple of years away from getting to see all this stuff.
He had some cool stuff. Though.
Oh, I mean, his stuff was awesome for the time.
I am literally petitioning every day to get Apple Vision Pro in my place of work because the things that you can do with that thing. And I mean, I think they probably pushed it a little too fast to like a production.
Yeah, it was too expensive to produce at the level of quality they wanted at first.
But you can walk into a building, right, as a facilities manager, and you can see behind the walls. You can have an upload of your blueprints of your building, and you can see behind the walls. You know where all the
but can you actually see behind the walls and see what people are doing, like Superman?
No,
because okay, good, because I don't want to see what some people are doing behind the walls.
No, there's some bad stuff going on behind the walls. But I mean, like the idea of being able to see like your business, whatever your business is, on a fourth dimension is awesome. There's so much. I love this idea. And I think that advancement in this level makes all the really bad shit about AI maybe a little more palatable.
That's it.
Lizzie, you have a phenomenal way of closing out the topics, I think.
Yeah, right?
I love it.
She's a closer.
And by the way, we're done again. We're done again.
Yeah.
All right. So that has been our topics. We will be back next week with our friend Jeff and Pikars. In the meantime,
talk about baseball.
You can catch up on our old episodes on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@iftheseballspod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by tickling that little bell.
Tickle.
Tickle.
We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Lizzie. Would you like to hype your Instagram page?
Oh yeah, so I'm at food_figure because I like to figure out food, but like I also like to eat. So like all of that. So follow me on that. And then I also have a podcast a WordPress blog that also follows if you want to see any of my recipes when I start cooking.
Nice.
Linkable on Instagram, by the way. I did.
You can follow or like us on our socials at IfTheseBallsPod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Our website is www.iftheseballscoulddtalkpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and from my partner John Companion and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk.
Nice.
Good night.
If these